Hello again, fun fans, and welcome to the Rivalry Week midweek edition Thanksgiving special fun fan podcast. I'm your host, James Dillard. With me, as always, my co-host, Bailey Jackson. How you doing, Bailey?
It's almost Turkey Day, James.
It's almost Turkey Day. I
That's
fried
right.
three of them today. Three birds went down. They went down. So anyway, we got a great show lined up. It's going to be short and sweet and awesome, though. Huge announcements. We're going to make some big announcements, and I'm going to make some bold predictions. Did you know that today is the 20th anniversary of the 63-17?
Yeah, and it provided the motivation for my favorite that says it's a quote, it's a historical quote. It says, "Touchdown Clemson, Todd Ellis."
Yeah. Yeah, so I just
Sorry,
got a little
Gamecock
bit of
fans.
a little bit of a gut feeling it might be an anniversary celebration down there in Columbia, but we're gonna get to that in a minute. First of all, we always talk about the news coming out of Clemson since we were here on Sunday. First of all, it has been confirmed that Trump is going to be in the building. And the funniest thing about that, though, Dabo was asked what he thought, and he's like, unless they're going to line him up in the slot, I don't care. He didn't
Yeah,
say slot, but
throw a
basically he's like,
halfback pass.
yeah, he's like, unless they're going to put him in, unless he's going to play for South, unless he's going to end up on the field against us, he don't care. So I thought that was funny. Other big news is punter extraordinaire and former podcast guest Aiden Swanson has announced he's coming back next year. So that'll be
Yeah, that it was actually kind of cool. I talked to Aiden on the field after the game, just for a minute, and then the next morning, Katie said, "By the way, Aiden's coming back for another year next year." So good for him.
that's awesome.
Good for the Tigers.
Yeah, that's really good news. We found out this year what it's like to have some trouble in the kicking game, and he's done a great job punting the ball. All right, and the fourth college football playoff poll has been released last night. Georgia State number one, Ohio State, Michigan State number two, and in my opinion, Florida State got shafted. I think they dropped because of the injury. We talked about how they don't project it. If they were projecting ahead, they would be picking one of the other Ohio State, Michigan, right? But they're waiting on them to play and all this kind of stuff. It's like they're not even waiting on Florida State to finish
Right.
their season before they start bumping them out of the poll. And I think that's crap. I think Florida State, and my first bold prediction of the night, I'm predicting Florida State to be the first ever undefeated conference champion, Power Five, of course, to not make the college football playoffs. You heard it here first, and I hate it. That's not cool on a lot of levels. But I just kind of you can see it happening. You kind of feel it happening. Everybody loves Michigan. Everybody loves Ohio State. Everybody loves the Pac-12. It's a pity party for the Pac-12 this year, right?
Yeah.
And
I mean, Florida State clearly got dropped because they had the injury, and that's without even playing a game, like you said. Now, the Ohio State Michigan loser should be out.
should be.
And if I heard this week, I don't listen to a lot of Colin Coward, but the last 21 times those two teams have played, the team that won the rushing yards, had the most rushing yards, won the game. Michigan has out rushed Ohio State the last 2 years, like by almost 350 yards combined in the two
Wow.
games. So keep that on your plate. Watch that.
Well, my prediction is that Washington and Oregon State, not Oregon State, Washington and Oregon, when they meet again in the Pac-12 championship, they're going to end up splitting. And it was so close. It was a close game when they played at Washington last time. And this time it's going to be a really close game that Oregon's going to win. And everybody loves them. And I'm not saying they're not great teams. They are both really, really good teams. Both of them will get in because they're going to split in another close game. And Florida State will be left on the outside looking in. All right. So anyway, we can move on. But that is you heard it. It's recorded. It's on the worldwide internet. So you heard it here first. Let's just hope it does not happen. Let's move on. Oh, the other part about the poll There was something else about the poll.
Yeah, the Tigers are in at number 24, and we used to think, well, why do they even rank those? But for this particular season, it is a tremendous accomplishment to finally earn the respect back, to get back in the polls. And really, they ought to be in the other two polls, because even though they're 7-4, I think they're a top 15 team right now,
without a doubt.
And they're playing at a much higher level. Those freshmen have grown up, so I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be good. All right, speaking of this weekend, Clemson versus the University of South Carolina Gamecocks. I mean, what's the matchup? What does the matchup look like if we can contain Rattler? We're using phrases like keys to the game. I'm sorry. Cut. Let's go back.
Okay.
We're professionals now. Bailey, what are your keys to the game?
The first key is for Clemson to be able to handle playing on the road at Carolina.
Amen.
I don't think the players they line up against the players that Clemson lines up can compete. Now, Spencer Rattler's really good. Offensive line has been a weakness for them. So I think you have to contain him, and you have to cover people in the secondary like they have been. And why would we think they weren't going to play defense the way they have the last 3 weeks, or all year for that matter? Why would we think all of a sudden Clemson's not going to play defense?
Correct.
Okay, and then they haven't beaten anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest. That's the truth.
Kentucky's a good team. I mean,
they're 6-4.
You look at the whole 6-4, but they've lost to. Well, before they lost to South Carolina, they had some losses to some pretty doggone good teams in the East. But I'm not saying they're a great team, but they're a pretty good team. But I agree. I mean, the only thing, and you and I both have said this, a quarterback that gets loose like Rattler can do is kind of the Achilles heel of the Tigers.
Well, it wasn't Saturday. Drake May's the same guy.
Right.
Drake May's the same quarterback.
Correct. So whatever we did, that leads into what you said. Whatever we did it again. We did it against Georgia Tech. We talked last week about how can we do it against Drake May. He got more yardage, I think, than Georgia Tech on scrambles and stuff.
Sure he did. I mean, they're going to have some runs for first downs.
Right.
Drake May had some.
Well, we predicted that he would do better because of he's better. So we'll see. Even if Rattler does even a little bit better, I think it's still a well-contained. Whatever they're doing is a well-contained.
I don't think he doesn't have the weapons that Drake May has.
No, I agree.
Now the difference is you're playing on the road. It just is what it is.
It is what there needs to be something. Yeah. So I agree. The keys to the game, of course, we need to continue to win. We still haven't gone with no turnovers, but it would be nice to go with no turnovers. But whatever we do, we need to win the turnover battle. And this is the second big prediction. I'm going to predict a blowout on the side of the Tigers. I'm going to predict we're going to cap, upper 40s, 50s. So it's going to be we're going to relive the anniversary of the 63-17. They're going to get into 20s. I'm saying it's going to be 50 something to 20 something, but they won't break into the 20s until it don't even matter. That's my prediction. So you've heard two of them here tonight. Mark it down. I could be wrong. It's easy to sit here and make predictions. But
I think you're wrong.
I'm just feeling it. I think they're going to get down.
They have played people tough. Like, they don't quit.
I know.
At Missouri, they played a very good Missouri team. Pretty close.
And that was on the road for them. So
right.
I'm just feeling they are playing for bowl contention, though.
Mm-hmm.
So that is definitely something to keep in mind.
Well, one of the ESPN guys already has them in the Liberty Bowl, so that's saying that they beat Clemson.
So is it rigged? If they win, does that mean it's rigged?
No, they're not rigging anything for the Liberty Bowl. All right.
Well, either way, we look forward to it. 7:30, we're going to be pulling for the Tigers. Other big games coming up this weekend. We'll just usually go in chronological order, skipping to the biggest game, and we don't spend a lot of time on this. But at noon Saturday, Ohio State takes on Michigan. There's the matchup we've been waiting on. And what you got? You picking Michigan? They're going to run all over them ish.
I think the more physical team wins.
I ain't never pulling for. I'm pulling for Ohio State because I'm on your bandwagon of
Can't do it,
Michigan
bro.
cheaters.
I don't care if they tie.
Yeah, yeah. I really don't care who wins,
Yeah.
but I'm pulling. I would rather see Ohio State. Well, I've heard the reports that they have got caught a little bit doing some of the same. Which we said everybody does it. Does everybody do it? I don't know. Whatever. Michigan got caught. They're firing people. They don't deserve the stage, in my opinion, if they're cheaters. So I think it'll be a close game, though. Like you said, be a lot of running, some Big Ten, whether it be a fun game or not, who knows? But it'd probably be a close one, so it'd be fun to watch the end. Right?
Yeah. Hey, but one game Saturday. There's one game Saturday.
There's one game.
7:30. Willie B.
Yeah. But there's a ton of games Thursday. Well, there's a ton of games Friday, and there's one game tomorrow, at least one. And I love watching football on Thanksgiving. I mean, that's like part of the tradition. And the NFL games are fine. They're on the TV and whatnot. But, college football is just so much better. So look for Ole Miss versus Mississippi State at 7:30. Thanksgiving night, tomorrow night. That's some entertainment for all of us college football fans. And I think that'll be a close – rivalry games are close. That's we're sitting here and I'm making a bold prediction and, Carolina's Clemson should match up better. But you can never tell in a rivalry. That's what everybody says. You can never tell in a rivalry game. So Ole Miss should win that one, but you can never tell. And that's the theme for the rest of these games that we're going to point out. On Friday at 7:30, Texas Tech at Texas. These teams cannot lose. They're in the college football playoff talk, and they are playing inferior teams. But it's a rivalry game. You can never tell what happens. 8:30, Oregon State takes on Oregon. That could mess up one of my predictions right there. If Oregon State were to pull that one out, Oregon should win. Oregon should win by 17 points or more. But it's a rivalry game, so you never know. And then Florida State at Florida at 7 p.m. on Saturday. So two games that mean something on Friday, and then that other game at 7 p.m. Florida State at Florida. Once they got to pull it out, and they got to pull it out with a backup quarterback. We talked Sunday about how he's a good player. He's done it before, so it really shouldn't matter. And Florida's good. Florida they've been like right there all season. They play good. They're not.
Yeah, they're a little up and down.
But those teams, Florida State, Texas, Oregon, you can't let the rivalries mess around and get you.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other cool thing is there are no open dates here at the end of the season. So there's lots of college football to watch. So all the fun fans are going to have a wonderful time. And what else do we do while we watch college football?
Eat.
We tailgate. We grub. Yes. So my daughter Jillian, who is, if you've been watching the show or you know me, she's in graduate school at DC. So she should be getting on a plane in about an hour and 15 minutes. I got to run over to GSP and pick her up. So for game time, we're going to do whatever she wants to do. It may or may not be Rubens, but if you have the opportunity, Rubens would be a great place to watch. Grab your wings and go wherever you want to go to watch it. Bailey, y'all got big plans for watching the game Saturday?
No, I got to get locked in. I'll probably project it and have a fire and maybe some chili, that kind of thing. But pretty low key. I got to lock in on this one.
Getting zoned in.
I feel like I'm helping.
All right. Well, the other thing obviously happening all weekend and should be all the time is Thanksgiving. We want to wish everybody a happy, fun fans Thanksgiving. And real quick, we want to tell everybody just one thing that we're thankful for specific to, I'm thankful for a lot of things. Really, really have to remind myself sometimes how blessed I am. And everybody else should do that too. Don't take stuff for granted. But this Thanksgiving, very, very thankful that my in-laws are home versus in the hospital. We made it by just a few days, and that's extremely thankful for that. And of course, thankful that my parents will be at home and luckily they weren't in that hospital situation. So that's the big thing for me this season. Bailey, what you got?
Well, my dad lost a brother this week, and
Oh man,
the funeral was today and the visitation, and it was just I just thought about how lucky we are to have our families and such a big extended family that my dad's side of the family has, and the fact that so many people came and everybody talked about how that side of my family treated other people and how they helped other people. So
cool.
that was a neat time, but a sad time, but at the same time, it was something to celebrate. So
Very,
very
very
thankful.
honorable. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's something makes you proud to be a part of. And sorry to hear that, man. I didn't know. So condolences you said that was your dad's, to the Jackson
Yeah.
family there. But speaking of family and huge announcements, do you want to intro this one, Bailey? You just may hit play.
Well, this is an announcement that we have been waiting on at our home for a while, and let's just roll the tape, shall we?
Roll tape.
It's Whit here. It's been a pleasure to be a part of your student section for last year, and I can't wait for next year. But right now, I have something bigger to announce. I am committing to the Clemson Tigers student section. Go Tigers.
Awesome.
So
I couldn't find my applause fast enough to play it, but that's exciting news. And student section, if you're looking for a preview,
keep recording it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he has committed, and it's on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah. So let's just keep the grades up, turn in the application, and he can be sitting right over there in a couple of years.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's great news, and hope everybody gets some good news and has some great time with their family. We appreciate everyone checking us out. We're definitely thankful for our sponsors. We don't talk about True Victory, but they're scrolling across the bottom. We're thankful for Rubens. We're thankful for Diamond Edge Products, and we're definitely thankful for Dubby and all the listeners out there and the folks that like and share all the stuff that we put on social media. So we're very thankful for all that stuff as well. And we appreciate you joining us each and every week. Don't forget to click subscribe on the Fun Fan Podcast YouTube channel, as well as your favorite podcast platform. Follow and share on all social media, please, on behalf of the Fun Fans Podcast, J Thriller Entertainment, the Fanboys Fangirls Podcast Network, Rubens Food, Sports, Spirits, and Catering, Diamond Edge Products, and Bailey Jackson.
Hey, just remember, Carolina is in Chapel Hill, USC is in California, and the university in South Carolina is Clemson. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
That's right. Thanks for listening. Go Tigers, and happy Thanksgiving.